So you're behind on your mortgage payments. You have no idea what to do. I'm going to react to Dave Ramsey's advice, and I'm going to tell you things that you should not do.
Candace is in Indiana, and she says we are currently behind on our house, 2 vehicles and credit cards, along with multiple old medical bills. I know we need to catch up on our payments before working on our emergency fund. However, I'm not sure where to start on catching up. Well, Candace, you guys need to do a detailed written budget where every dollar has a name before the month begins every month. And you need to figure out why it is that you are behind. Did you have a job loss? Have you replaced the job? Did you buy something you shouldn't have bought? Do you need to sell it? Did you...
Okay, y'all. So my business makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but I still keep a strict budget on what I spend. I haven't cut out Uber Eats, okay, because I'm more focused on saving and investing. No matter how much money you make, if you don't have a budget, you're going to go over your budget. Simple things you can do to have a budget is write a list for your groceries. Okay, you should have a list of your groceries, what you're going to buy. I also track every single penny I spend that comes out of my bank account, whether it's personal or business. Another thing is going out to eat. Okay, so if you go out to eat, it's going to be $15, $30 per person. Okay, I do meal prepping. I meal prep my meals every week, and I spend $30 for a whole week of food.
Or you're disorganized and you don't watch what you're spending and you eat out too much. Well, you need to figure out what the cause is of all this bleeding, and you got to stop the bleeding. And then you're going to have to work like crazy people, like take 6 extra jobs. And that's good news because around Christmas, lots of people are hiring. So you need to be like working like all the time, all of you. And that way you won't have time to go out to eat too, because you can't afford to go out to eat. You're broke. So you need to work all the time. When you're behind on your house, you're behind on your vehicles, you're behind on your credit cards, you're behind on medical bills, you're behind on utilities, that you need to work all the time. Now, then what we do is we prioritize what do we catch up first.
Fun fact, one of the easiest things to get off your credit report are medical bills. The reason for it is because of HIPAA. It stands for health. Anyway, medical institutions are not allowed to share your private information to a third party. And when they do that, they're violating HIPAA. So that makes it very easy to take them off your credit report. It happened to me back in the day. I had over $27,000 in medical bills, and they took it off my credit report.
The first thing that needs to be current in your house is food. Your family needs to eat before you do anything else. You probably have enough money coming in to take care of that, but you need to make sure that's done before you do anything. The second thing you need to do before you do anything else is lights and water. You need to keep the utilities on. It's cold out there. You need to be able to take a shower because you're going to be working a lot. And you're going to be using that hot shower a lot because you're going to work all the time. If I mentioned you're going to work all the time, I want to make sure you understand you're going to be working all the time. You're freaking broke, and there's a place you ought to go when you're broke, and that's to work. That's the deal. Okay, so now we got food and we got lights and water. The next thing you do is you keep your house. So you get current on your mortgage. Before you do anything else, you don't pay a dime to your medical bills. You don't pay a dime to your credit cards. You don't pay a dime, not one penny, to anybody else until you've done these things. And then you get current on your vehicles. And here's the amazing thing. Most people can get all that current within 30 days. Food, lights, water, shelter, and car payments. If you don't do anything else, you can get current on all that real quick. I'm saying nothing else. All you're doing is working. You're paying all the money. You stopped your 401k. You don't pay anybody anything for anything. You don't spend any money on anything until you get current on the house. You get current on the cars. You get current on the lights and water, and you got food in your house. Everything else can go jump in the creek, dude. Nothing gets money.
I want to say this. I agree with what he's saying, right? The most important thing is food, shelter, and transportation. One thing I don't want y'all to do is I don't want you to ignore your lender. Okay, if you're behind on your mortgage, if you're behind on your car payment, you're going to start getting calls. A lot of times they have programs and can maybe pause payments for 3 to 6 months, and you can use that time to catch up on your mortgage and car payments. Okay, take those calls from lenders. Another thing I want you to do is if you're more than 2 months behind, I don't want you to not talk to an investor or not talk to a realtor. Okay, if you're more than 2 months behind, I at least want you to get an offer, have an investor on the line, or have a realtor that's willing to help you get your property appraised, figure out what it's worth, or get a certified market analysis from a realtor. So that worst case scenario, if you have to sell your property, you're ready. I've seen people wait till the last minute to try to sell their property and they lose it simply because they didn't have the paperwork in time to sell the property. Okay, when you're selling a property, paperwork has to be processed. Lenders have to process their paperwork. The title company's attorneys have to process their paperwork. Generally, that takes 3 to 5 business days minimum. Sometimes they can do it in 24 hours, a rush order, but you don't want to take that risk. If you're going to lose the house, you want to be at least a month ahead so you have time with the paperwork.
Until then, you got to get the 4 walls of your house protected so that you can live to fight another day. Now, if you're current on your house and your cars, and you got lights and water and you got food, you live to fight another day. Now we can start worrying about some of this other stuff like credit cards and medical bills, and we'll get current on them. And you just prioritize those guys.
Also, don't be prideful. Okay, if you're behind on your payments, if you can't afford your life, it's okay to take on a second job. Really easy jobs to get are serving tables. They're going to hire anybody, a part-time job. You might be an executive or you might have a high-paying job, and it might be embarrassing to do something like that, but the most important thing is survival. And all the greats have gone through trials and tribulations, so you're not alone. I don't know if I said this or not, but over 6 million Americans are behind on your mortgage, so you're not alone, and I want you to do that. Don't think that you're all alone.
Way. You look over and start getting current on them or start settling with them, one of the two. If you're far enough behind, if you're 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 months behind, you may want to just offer them a settlement and save up and offer a lump sum settlement on that. You got a $2,000 medical bill, offer them $1,000, offer them $500, but you got to save that money up to make that offer, right? It's the only way that works. So that's the process. Food, lights and water, shelter, transportation, gasoline in the car, and that way you can go to work all the time because you're going to be working all the time. And that's how you do it. This really does work. It's a formula, and you need to do all of that and get current before you even start talking about working the baby steps or building up an emergency fund or worrying about a debt snowball or any of that kind of stuff. You can't worry about any of that kind of stuff when they're getting ready to take your freaking house and your cars away from you. And nobody gives a rip about a stupid old medical bill and while your car's getting repoed. So you get your car straightened out and your house straightened out and you get food on the table and you get the lights and water and you never again get behind on those things no matter what happens. You can make enough delivering pizza to keep those things current. Oh, and by the way, you're going to be working all the time and pizza delivery might be what you're doing. I don't know. Could be Uber. I don't know what you're doing. You could be working at the mall. You could be working at the Christmas tree lot. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing a bunch of it. And you're not too proud to do anything because you need money right now. That's what you do. You get after this stuff.
Let's say you're an executive. Let's say you make $100,000 a year and for some reason you can't catch up on your bills. If you have a lot of skills, a lot of small businesses can use part-time work, and you can do that in the evening to make a little extra money. And if your wife works from home, maybe you can ask her to take on a part-time job as well, just so you can get caught up. Wives love to help their husbands, and if she's really down for you, if she really loves you, she will help you. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help from your wife.